Hi there, my name is Remy, and I'm the co-founder of RemiRose Corporation. Welcome to my Wealth Creation Masterclass. And in this class, I'm going to show you how to become financially independent. Do you deposit money in the bank and you look around, you're like, what are these guys doing with my money? You see no interest? I'm going to show you a concept called infinite banking, where you can replace the bank and make money for yourself, pay interest to yourself, and become wealthy. Now, with just these little steps I'm going to show you, please hang on and wait for us as we jump into the presentation. So again, welcome to our Wealth Creation webinar. As I said earlier, let's ride on and see what we have in stock for you guys. So how to create family wealth without foregoing financial peace. Because it's another thing to create wealth, and it's another thing to create wealth and then have peace of mind. No, we have a lot of people who are into different types of investments, which I respect their opinions, but you want to make sure that you are not investing in something that put you in a position where you'll be taking a lot of antidepressants, right? So those are some of the things we're talking about: how to invest, how to build wealth, and then have that peace of mind. We have some few things I'm going to let you know about it. And for those of you guys who are joining us today, I will say if you stick around to the very end, I'm going to announce some awesome freebies that you want to take advantage of, right? Some freebies which are very, very important that I think if you know them, you will certainly want to take advantage of them. So at the end of this webinar, there are things I expect you to learn how you can generate tax-free income for retirement without you changing your current cash flow, and how you can use our infinite banking concept to grow your money tax-free and become your own bank, right? Look at it. How will it look like if the car you're actually paying right now, or the mortgage you're actually paying right now, and you're paying that mortgage and paying that interest to yourself, right? So that you keep that wealth within you. So how are you going to feel if you have the ability to do this? How is life going to look like, right? So that's what I'm talking about. How you can get huge returns using our risk aversion methodologies that we have used for a lot of years now, more than 5 years now. And these methodologies have been proven, and we have a lot of clients who are actually benefiting from this. And again, we teach what we do, right? I teach what I do. So what you should never do if you want to increase your cash flow, and some simple things to do instead. So these are some of the things you're going to learn, and how to make money and never lose money, because it's another thing to make money, but the problem is it makes no sense you making money today and losing it tomorrow, right? So how do you build wealth and then you actually don't lose it? So we're going to show you what we do and the steps we take, and how you can follow these steps as well. Super important. But I have a promise for you, that you will discover my step-by-step strategy, right? You will discover my step-by-step strategy for you, and how the wealthy usually create wealth and stay rich, right? And then they pass it to their kids. And when we look into like somebody like the Rockefellers, we look into and some people like Bill Gates, and some of their kids, how are they able to build this wealth and pass it over to their kids as well, right? Plus, I have some cool bonuses to give to you. So please, you want to stick around to the end of this, and a lot of things are going to be very, very important that you would like to. So let me talk a little bit about myself. You may like, okay, who is this guy, and who is he? What is he talking about? I am Remy, and my wife is Rosemary, and that is my wife there, Rosemary. So we are licensed financial professionals and coaches, and we are the founders of RemiRose Corporation. RemiRose Corporation is a family business that we set up after discovering some issues that happened with our finances. So we actually specialize in empowering entrepreneurs. Like, if you like to do what I'm doing right now, we can empower you, we can show you how we do it, and you can also become our business partners, as we are also expanding all over the nation and in Canada and Puerto Rico. So you can also become our partners, and we'll show you what we do, and you can run it for yourself. So we empower entrepreneurs, we empower families and individuals so they can launch their own family banks and then become their own source of financing. So those are some of the major things we do. And for the past 3 years, we have helped families generate over 20 million in wealth. I mean, like for real. And we use the same techniques and strategies personally within our own family. Because if you look at that, I would tell you, my ability to get into this came after I was trying to get into real estate. Then I discovered a family that talked to me about real estate. And I was like, this guy had like 3 apartment complexes that not that he is renting, apartment complexes that he owns. And I'm like, how did you get this? Then the guy was explaining to me one day how he got this. Then we landed into the issue of infinite banking. So you want to look into this and see how useful it can be for you. And I pride in sharing knowledge because I know the more we share, the more we are blessed. All right. So why is this so important, right? Why is this so important? So here's why this is so important. Now, I have helped a lot of business owners and individuals just like you increase their cash flow using these our risk aversion methods. And it's an easy way to ensure you consistent cash flow before and during retirement. So the thing is, most of us are working, and whether we like it or not, by the end of 65 years old, we will certainly retire. And if you retire, the question is, what happens to your income, right? Do you know that many people really don't finish their mortgages before they go on retirement? And do you know that many people really don't pay off their debts, most of them, especially those with school fees loans, before they actually go on retirement? So I've come to discover that most families suffer during retirement because they didn't plan. Now, with what I'm going to teach you, it can work for you at any phase of your life. But then, the earlier you start, the better. Because if you start earlier, you have a longer time to actually build and accumulate this wealth. Okay? So, now, what are the lessons you're going to learn right in here? So, I'm going to share with you 6 secrets about creating wealth so you can obtain the return that you desire. I'm also going to show you how the wealthy create wealth and how to obtain big returns without taking any risks. All right? So let's look at the first secret. Now, I remember I said I'm going to show you the secrets. The first secret is what I call the secret of positive arbitrage. Right? Positive arbitrage. How do you make money at a lower interest rate than what you pay? And in this case, we're going to stick with maybe a car loan. You can use a car loan. You can use any other thing. But this is just for simplicity. I'm going to show you how positive arbitrage works and how you can make money while you're still paying interest on the same thing, though you're making money out of it. Now, let's say we have 2 people that want to get a loan, right? We have 2 people that want to get a loan. One of them decides to go with a loan from the bank, and the other one decides to kind of like get the money from his savings. Okay? But let's look at this scenario. You want to get a loan from a bank, and you want to buy a car, and the car is $30,000. And you have 2 options. Back here, you see your savings account, right? You've saved some money on the little piggy right there. You see that? You save some money in there. Now, you have the option of going to the bank to actually get a loan right up there. And this is what the car loan is going to cost. So we have 3 calculators poured out here. The first calculator here is going to tell you how much you're going to pay every month if you take a car loan at a rate of $6, at a rate of 6% per year, how much you're going to pay. Now, if you take that car loan and you pay 6% interest per year, you're going to pay close to $579 a month, right? So now you have 2 options. If you get a loan paying 6% for 60 months, you're going to pay $579 for 60 months, and it's going to amount to $34,799. That is if you get a loan. Now let's assume that you have this money in your savings account and the bank is giving you 4%. Let's assume, I know no bank gives 4%, but let's just assume that there is a bank that gives you 4%. I'm trying to be very generous with the banks this time. Right? Let's say they give you that much interest, 4%. But quick question though, is there something that can give you 4%? Of course, yes. But is it a bank? No. So let's assume that you get 4% wherever you put your money inside, right? And now you keep that money for 60 months also. At the end of the car note, which is 60 months, you will make $36,000. Now let's look at this keenly. How come you're paying at higher interest for $30,000? You're paying at higher interest for the car note right here, paying $579.98 in a month for 60 months, and you pay a total of $34,000. But you have the same money in a bank account that gives you 4% interest, lesser than the 6% interest that you're paying on the car note. Yet at the end of 60 months, you make more money than you paid for the bank. I want us to look at this keenly. This sounds so crazy and it sounds so funny, but it's true. It's true. Now, most of us don't check this out when we go to get loans. And the truth is, most of us don't look at this keenly when we go to get loans. For some reason, we really don't look at it keenly to know what's going on. And we just go get a loan. Well, is it bad to get loans? No. But my problem is, how do you get a loan? And how do you pay the interest? Does the interest goes back to you, or it goes to the bank? Now, that's what I'm talking about, the infinite banking concept. How did you get this loan and pay it back to yourself? Okay? So now, let me explain to you why this is the way it is. Now, look at this. You will see that why you are able to make that difference, to make profit on a higher interest when you're paying a loan on a higher interest, is because while you keep your money in the bank at the rate of 4%, the money is compounding, right? The money is compounding, is increasing at an increasing balance. How do I put it? The interest is being added to your principal, and the balance increases for the next month, and then the 4% is calculated on the new principal. So that is why the money increases, because it is going up. But whereas the loan that you collected is a decreasing balance. So as you pay off the loan, the principal drops, and then the interest also drops. So that is the reason why you are able to make interest at a lower interest that you pay than how much you pay for the car. So that is one of the secrets you want to learn. And that secret is build the concept of gaining positive arbitrage. Build the concept of letting your money accumulate in a very secured, guaranteed account. Even if you borrow out of that account, you still make interest because of compound interest than what you pay. And what if you pay it to yourself? You know what? That is an explosion. We'll talk a little bit about that. Now, the next secret I want to tell you is about the mind of a wealth creator. Now, you need to understand that building wealth, you need to have the mindset of a wealth creator. Now, are you a debtor, a saver, or a wealth creator? For you to actually know who you are, then it's going to help you to know how to build the mindset. Because if you have the mindset of a debtor, you end up discovering that you go nowhere. Now, let's start, by the way, who is a debtor? How is a debtor, how do we look at the mindset of a debtor, right? Let's look at the mindset of the debtor first. Now, the debtor usually has no savings. Most times they pay interest, they earn no interest, and they borrow from the lender at high market rates. And guess what? The worst part of it is they use their future earning potentials as collateral. They use their future earning potential as collateral. What does a debtor do? They will pay high interest. They have no interest. They earn no interest, but they kind of get loans and pay that loan at high rates, and then use their future earnings as collateral. Let me give you an example. You want to go get a car. Now you don't have enough savings for the car, right? Now you go to the bank and the bank says, oh, I'm going to finance you. And then they give you the loan. That loan you have is higher than your savings. You really don't have savings. So you're instead paying interest. Now, because you don't have any savings, you don't have any collateral, the interest they're going to give you is going to be high, because you need to make sure that they recover their money in the shortest time possible. The only collateral you can give is your future earnings. Therefore, you mortgage your job. They ask for your W-2. They ask for your maybe tax return, depending on the type of car you want to get and the type of loan you want to get. But they want to make sure that you have money that is being paid and constantly being paid. So you are mortgaging your future for a debt. That is how the life of a debtor is. Now, what do? Now, they go to the bank right here. They are zero, or maybe a little bit higher, and they don't have money. Now they borrow, they go negative. Now they purchase the car, and then they pay the loan back, and they come back to zero. Guess what? Maybe next time they want to buy another car for their wife, or maybe a mortgage. They go down and do the same stuff, and they repeat the process again. So that is the lifestyle of a debtor. Now let's look at the lifestyle of a saver. Now, this is the lifestyle of a saver right here. If you look at the saver, he saves money, he pays cash. He said, hey man, I don't want to get a loan. I don't want to owe anybody. I want to make sure that I buy my thing cash and I pay cash. I'm not interested in getting any loan from anybody. Okay, wow, that is great. That is good. They earn interest, of course. They borrow from themselves. But the problem is they are reducing their principal, right? They are reducing their current principal at the bank. And hence, what happens? The current collateral position, thereby they are resetting their compound interest. Because I will explain a little bit further about compound interest so that you understand what I'm talking about. So they end up, moving like this. They save up to buy the car, and they save and save and save, and get right to there, and then they make the purchase, right? Now, when they make the purchase, what happens? They drop back to zero. And then next time, maybe they want to buy a house, and they save up, and guess what? They make the purchase again, and they drop back to zero. So that is a lifestyle of a saver. They really don't owe debt, but they make no interest. Rather, they don't make much interest. They really don't owe debt. They earn interest at a specific time and then drop back to zero, thereby resetting their compound interest, then going back to the same position where they started. And the cycle repeats again. So let me ask you a question. Is the debtor and the saver, are they different from each other, right? Let's look at that. I call it insanity. Now, why are we doing the same thing over and over? Like, really? Because this is the thing. What is the difference between the debtor and the saver in terms of cash position? If you look at that, all of them end up at zero. Now, I know you may have your argument. Somebody may say, hey, but he owns his car. Of course, he owns his car. But remember, liquidity-wise, he's still at zero. Because if he needs an urgent money for something, he needs to sell that car. And that may take some time. And guess what? Car doesn't give you interest. So you end up discovering that you are still back at square zero. So if you need to buy something urgent now, he needs to save again. Just like a debtor, if he wants to get something else, he needs to borrow again. Now let's look at the mind of a wealth creator. Let's look at the mind of a wealth creator. I love this part. The wealth creator saves and uses OPM. OPM is called other people's money. And he makes use of compound interest. All his purchases are collateralized. He collateralizes all his purchases. He borrows from lender at negotiated rates. Now, why negotiated rates? Because he got the money in there. Yeah, he got the money in there. So you got to negotiate the rate because he's not a risky borrower. So they use their own money as collateral, and the money continues to earn uninterrupted compound interest. Now, this is a key right here. The money continues to earn uninterrupted compound interest. So they start from zero, to save and get to a certain point, and they borrow. You see how the graph goes? Now they borrow, and they make up the payments. But guess what? As they borrow, because take note, they didn't withdraw, unlike the saver. So the money stays there, and they pay for 60 months. This money also makes profit for 60 months on compound interest. Then maybe they borrow again to buy something, maybe a house this time, and they pay maybe for another 7 or 15 years. And guess what? That money stays in there for 15 years and keeps on building compound interest. Now it comes to a point where they borrow, but yet they are not negative. Now this is what I'm talking about. These guys are creating wealth. Their money is growing in a compound rate. Now this is the thing. The irony is, what if they are paying this interest to themselves using our infinite banking concept? You know what that means? You're borrowing against yourself and paying the interest to yourself. You don't just earn this money, you earn even the profit as well. So we'll talk about that. Now let's go to the next secret, which is the third secret I want to show you guys is the rule of money. And let's look at the rule of money. I like this part. This is my best part, the rule of money. There are 3 rules of money. 1, the compound interest, how money grows, and how your money gets taxed. So let's look at this. Let me give you a scenario. Let's talk about compound interest, rule number 1. If I give you a penny and ask you to double that penny for 31 days, how much do you think it's going to cost? I mean, how much do you think it's going to give you? You have a penny. This is a penny, a cent. And I said double it every day for the next 31 days. Any guess? Okay, let me help you a little bit. Now, if you double a penny for the next 31 days, it's going to give you $10,737,418. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, really? Yes, really. It's true. It happens. It's true. Now, let me give you an illustration for that. Look at that. Let's assume that it will give you a penny the first day. Second day becomes 2 penny, 2 cents. On Wednesday, it becomes 4 cents. Remember, you're doubling it each day, right? You double what you have each day. Then 4 cents, 16 cents, right? 32 cents, 64 cents, $1.8. You double it. Look at that. You're doubling. This is 20, 40, 81. You're doubling it. Look at what it's doing. Now, you discover that if you keep on doubling, guys, check the math. You can take a picture of this and calculate the math yourself. If you double this money right till this day, it will give you 10 million. Now, what does this assume? It assumes that the money grows at 100% interest. Now, is there any money that grows at 100% interest? Actually, no, we don't have that. But what am I trying to illustrate? I'm just trying to illustrate you the power of leaving your money to grow, borrowing against it instead of withdrawing from it. I'm trying to give you the power of compounding your money in a very important cash accumulation account, which is risk-free, free from taxation, and free from the government. That is the power of what I'm beginning to tell you right now. Secret number 3, ability to grow your money, compound interest. Now, let's assume that this other guy decided that, no, I'm going to grow this money, and he grew the money up to right here when he had $20,000, you see, on day 22. And he decided to okay, I want to buy my car right now. And then he pulled out the $20,000 and bought his car. Guess what? Where does he go back? He goes back to square one, right? He starts back and starts compounding again. And at the end of the 31 days, look at what he's got. Now, that tells you the importance of collateralizing all your purchases with your own income and paying interest to yourself. Guys, this is something you want to take advantage of. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's super important. Now, I'm going to look at another rule, right? This rule, I call it the rule of 72. It's part of compound interest. If you have been looking around, there's some good books I can tell you about the rule of 72. It says that let me put it this way. Take your interest, right, divided by, let me say 72 divided by your interest. It's going to give you the number of years that it's going to take for your money to double. Let me put it this way. What interest are you on? If you put money somewhere and they're giving you maybe 7%, whatever, take 72 divided by the interest that you're giving you. It's going to tell you how long your money is going to take to double. Now, this example shows how much you can earn over time with an investment of $10,000 at different rates, right, of return, starting at age 29. Let me say you're 29 right now, okay? Most of us are working at 29. And we put our money maybe in a bank or maybe in setting an account somewhere because we're not kind of looking at to give us some retirement benefits. Okay, now, let's assume the bank gives you 1%. 1%. Now, 72 divided by 1, remember, the rule says divide 72 by your interest. It's going to tell you how long it's going to take for your money to double. 72 divided by 1, which is the interest, your money doubles every 72 years. So by the time you are 101, you're going to have 20,000. Isn't that crazy? Let's say your interest is 4%. 72 divided by 4, it takes 18 years. So your money doubles every 18 years. So by the time you are 47, you have 20,000. The time you are 65 going for retirement, you have 40,000. Let's say you have 6% interest. 72 divided by 6, it gives you 12 years. So your money doubles every 12 years, right? So you are 29 with 10,000. By the time you turn 65, you have 80,000. Now, if your interest is 12%, your money doubles every 6 years. So what does that mean? If you are 29, by the time you turn 65, you have 640,000 in your account. Now, let's look at this, guys. If we look at this chart, do we see we doing ourselves a favor or doing ourselves a disfavor, right? You want to look into that, and you want to make sure that you are using your money very well. You're putting your money in a place where it will give you compound interest and it grows in a way that you can benefit from it. Okay, so let's go next. Now, another simple illustration of compound interest is this. Let me assume that we give each and every one of us $100,000, and you are investing that money over 40 years with 10% interest. And one other guy said, hey, I'm going to do my own with simple interest. And the other guy said, hey, I'm going to do with compound interest. But let me tell you something what Albert Einstein said, right? He said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it is going to earn it. And he who does not is going to pay it. Let's assume these guys have this 100K and they all use it. And one decided to do a compound interest, and the other one said, hey, I'm going to do a simple interest. Now, how does it look like? Let's go a little bit faster. That's how the money is going to grow, right? That's how the money is going to grow right there. Right there. Look at that. Can anybody guess what happens 40 years later? Oh, wow. I talked to someone and the person said, no, I cannot keep my money for 40 years. I'm like, hey, guy, do you have a 401k? He said, yes. So how old are you? The guy was just 26. You're 26. You have a 401k. When are you going to touch that money? When are you going to freely get that money? 65. So can't you see you're really keeping money for more than 40 years? Look, guys, we do this. We keep money. We really do this. We can keep this money for 40 years. But what if you keep it in a place that grows with compound interest and tax-free? That's what I'm talking about. If we don't understand this concept of compound interest, believe you guys, we are going to pay the compound interest. That's why most of us paid in our car mortgage, in our car notes, right? We pay in our mortgages. We pay it in our school fees loan. How do you explain the fact that you have a school fees loan right now, and by the time you are retiring, the loan is like, maybe you're not even done with the loan. You pay the loan keeps on increasing. Why? Because it grows on compound interest. How can you explain the fact that you pay a car, right? Let me say you bought a car for 20 grand and you end up paying that car for 35 grand, or you end up paying that car for 30 grand. Why? Because the money grows, it compounds with compound interest. Though it's a reducing balance, but it's compound interest, right? And the banks know this. And they know that most of us don't know this. So they make advantage of that. So that is some of the rules you want to know about compound interest. Please, let's look for a way to grow our money with compound interest. Now, the next thing I want to say is, the next rule I want to tell you is rule number 2. That is the rule of money. Remember, we're still in the third secret, right? Which is the rules of money. The first rule is compound interest. And now this rule, I'm talking about how your money grows. Now, your money can grow either fixed, variable, index. There are various ways to invest your money, but let me tell you, there are 3 ways that money is going to grow. Either your money grows fixed, guess what? It's going to be checking account, some kind of maybe fixed accounts, right? Fixed interest accounts. It grows fixed. And you have the variable, right? You have the variable right there. You have the variable. And what is this variable? These are variable accounts. And guys, if you check the meaning of variable, it means unreliable, unpredictable. You cannot determine it. It's uncertain. Guess what? This includes your 401k, 403b, Roth IRA, and most of the things that work with the stock market. Now, am I against stock market? No. But please, if you want your money to grow in a way that you're not going to have heart attack. Now, look at this. You see this graph? It just looks like somebody having heart attack in the hospital. That's exactly what happens with money that grows in a variable account. Now, if you are good in taking the risks and bearing the shock when the market goes down, and you swap up to like 30% of your money down, then fine, you are good with that. I am not good with risks, and this is this presentation for some people who want to make sure that they want to get as much as they can with the minimal risks, right? With the minimal or no risk. So that is why I'm doing this particular webinar, to create wealth with peace of mind. You want to build wealth, you want to avoid the risks, or you want to take no risks or minimal risks. So if you put, just let me give you an example. The 401k grows with the stock market. And the thing is, if I ask many people today, what are you expecting to have in your 401k next month? Believe you me, they don't know. Nobody knows. Now, but this is the thing. This is what was created for retirement. And I ask a question. How do you take something that you are not sure, you are not certain, a product that you cannot be sure about its tomorrow, to use it to guarantee a phenomenon that is sure to happen? What is that? Retirement. It makes no sense to me. So I would tell people that retirement is sure, but your 401k is not guaranteed. So if you really want to build income and build retirement income with peace of mind, please look at this graph. Make sure you see what is best for you. Now let's go to the next one called index. And this is the best one. I really like this one more. I use this a lot. Now your money grows, and when the market goes down, they log in your gains. You don't lose any money. Now look at this same graph. It's the same graph right here. But look at where it ends up right here. See where the other one ended up? Right at the bottom. So if this man had grown this money with an index structure, he will make money, but he will never lose money, because they'll be locking up his gains whenever the market is going up and down. Just like that. Right? That's what I'm talking about. The market goes negative, he doesn't lose any gain. He doesn't lose any of the interest. So, or any of his principal. The same thing right up here. So how will you like your money to grow? If I were to you, fixed, variable, or index? Of course, index, right? Most of us will love the index. All right. So the next thing here is rule number 3, how money gets taxed. Do you want to get taxed now, or taxed later, or tax advantage? I met some folks who said, oh, I had a very massive tax return. I'm like, really? Are you telling me the IRS took your money? They took more than what you were supposed to take from you, and they are just returning that money to you. Guess what? If it were the other way around, you're going to pay interest. I'm telling you, right? You're going to pay interest. So tax now is your savings account. The money has been taxed. Banks, CDs, that money has already been taxed. Brokerage accounts has already been taxed. Mutual funds has already been taxed. Tax later, it's like, hey, you know what? I know you don't want to pay the tax right now. Can you just put in the money somewhere and invest it? And by the time you pick your interest, please pay us all the tax of what you've got. That is what they're talking about. And that includes your 401k, 403b, IRA, annuities, and pensions. Now let me ask you a very simple question. If I were to give you a seed of corn and I say, hey, in this corn, you have two options. Either pay me the tax from this seed, or don't bother, I know you don't have the money now, go plant everything. And when you harvest, please give me the tax of everything you harvest. What will you do? Of course, you want to pay the tax now, right? I don't want to pay the tax of everything I harvest. Why will I pay a tax of my labor, right? I actually did labor for that. Now, guess what? That is what most of us are doing, rather. We're instead using it and saying that we'll pay the tax later. Now, the issue is this. Do you know that in your 401k right now, the taxes in the future will not be the same like the taxes? Because you don't know the tax bracket you're going to retire in. And remember, you're still thinking about increasing taxes. Okay? So let's look at the tax advantaged account. Now, these are an accounts which are tax advantaged. Money grows in tax-free, and you can access this money and get it tax-free. Now, think about it. You take your paycheck. Look at the amount of tax that's being deducted from your paycheck. Come on. So if I tell you that I can put back those tax into your pocket using a tax advantaged account, is that something you're going to like? Of course, right? What are those accounts? You have municipal bonds, Roth IRA, executive bonus plans, especially for businesses. If you want to cut down your taxes and pay less on taxes and keep more money for your business, you want to make sure you take use of these executive bonus plans. Cash accumulation in an insurance policy. Guys, cash accumulation in your whole life insurance policy, cash accumulation in an index universal life policy, believe you me, these are tax-free products. It grows tax-free, and I can show you how to access this money tax-free. All right. I want you to show me one thing. I would like you to show me a financial instrument that provides a hedge against inflation. 100% guarantees that you will not lose your money. Has a tax-free growth and distributions, and the ability to take interest-free loans. Oh, wow. Guess what? It avoids probate, provides creditor protection, guarantees your life, and that your income will be replaced should you pass on. And it can help protect you from financially against chronic, critical, and terminal illness. And of course, It allows you to get money anytime for any reason without any tax penalty. And by the way, you can even start as low as $200 per month. If you can show me that account, then me and you really need to talk. Other than what I'm about to show you. I call it the hidden treasure. That's the secret number 4. The hidden treasure. What financial instrument will grow your money tax-free? Remember we told you about tax-free, right? We talked about the various secrets. We've talked about positive arbitrage. We've talked about having the mind of the world creator. We talked about the rules of money, right? We talked about, now we are talking about the hidden treasure. So what accounts will help you grow your money tax-free, compounds your interest, and guarantees 100% that you will not lose any of the money you put in that account. Guess what? We have the Index Universal Life Insurance product. Now, don't get me wrong. There are other products out there, whole lives and other ones. But when we come to a state where it gives you maximum protection and flexibility, we're talking about the IUL, the Index Universal Life. I pulled this particular passage from a book called The Financial Pocket Knife. If you have time, you could go read it. I'm not marketing the book, but I love what I read from that book. And I've used this information in this book to actually help me in my financial career. Now, what does the IUL do? 1, it gives you flexible premium. Means you can pay and you can adjust it anyhow you want. Now, when you put in your premiums, it builds in protection in the form of permanent life insurance, and that expires up to the age of 121. Now, this permanent life insurance is tax-free benefit. Guess what? It bypasses probate. Now, let me tell you something. If you guys don't know what is probate, go and Google it out. Most wealthy people have passed away with their wealth being stuck in the courtrooms for years because of probate. But when you have money in your permanent life insurance and something happens to you, you pass on, it goes straight to your beneficiary. The probate has nothing to do with it. The court has nothing to do with it. I'll tell you guys a little story. I have a family that I helped. And this family, they have life insurance, the IULs with us. And the father happened to pass away. But we noticed that immediately he passed away, the wife went to the bank to pull out some money to run some few stuff. And the bank said, sorry, we can't give you anything. Why? Because the accounts have been frozen. Oh yeah, somebody said, why are they freezing the account? Now let me ask you a question. Let's put it this way. Most people in the United States live with debts. They have loans, school fees loans, mortgages, car notes, credit card debts, hospital bills. Now, let me say, if you pass on, who do you think is going to pay the school fees loan? Or you maybe thought the government was doing charity? What about those credit card debts? What about the mortgage? What about the car note? What about the bill in the hospital where you died? What about your bills, utility bills, internet bills? You think they're going to say, oh, he's dead, let's let it go? No. Look, they're going to freeze those accounts because you have to pay your estate. Now, when we talk about estate, it's not a building you build somewhere. No. You have to pay your estate. Okay? So when they freeze those accounts and you go to collect the money, you say, oh, my father named me as a beneficiary. I'm the will. This is my will. You went to the bank, and the bank will say, no, take that will, go to the court, and let the court give you an execution order. Now you take it to the court, that is when it goes to probate court. And then they will now request for people who actually have a challenge on the will because you owe people. That's what happens for other products that are not life insurance products. Now with the life insurance products, it bypasses probate. If you have a life insurance of $1 million, as you pass on, it varies with companies, but the earliest I've seen is 1 month, or I think 15 days. One the earliest I've seen is 15 days. After your death, it goes straight to your beneficiary, no probate. And you have multiple settlement options. You can take it in the form of annuities. You can take it in the form of monthly payments. You can take it in lump sum. It all depends on how you want. And this is the thing. This one is the death insurance part of it. But look at it. It has a living insurance part of it, which I call it living benefits. Now, guys, whether we like it or not, we see these things every day. There's critical illness, chronic illness, long-term care, and terminal illness. Guys, I was talking to a friend, and this guy is a good footballer. And I told him about our products and how he can use it to replace his income should anything happens to him, or maybe the family can benefit from it if he passes on. And it's like, no, he's healthy. He doesn't have any time for that. He's too young. He can't die now. Man, I'm not praying you to die now, but the truth is this: if you go to the hospital, you go to the mortuary or to the mortuary, go to the morgue, you will see a lot of people, big and small. It happens, and it can happen to anybody. But the question I'm asking you is, what will happen to you by the time you went to that hospital and the doctor says, hey, you have cancer, and then you need to go for chemo, and then you stay going to chemo every time, and you run out of money, and then you fall sick, maybe you can't even go to work anymore. What happens to your bills? What happens to your kids? What happens to your children? What happens to your businesses? What happens to all those things you think you have? My question is this: have you set up a plan to replace your income should you not be able to work? Another thing is this: I have a friend, and he just bought a new car, and when he was driving from the dealership, trying to get into the road, unfortunately for him, he didn't know there was another car that had missed his track, and he carried this guy, and this guy was disabled. They had to take off the legs. Unfortunately for this guy, he did not have these policies. I mean, at least not with me, but not with anybody, because he was my friend. But my issue is this: this guy was not able to work for close to 1 year. He couldn't work. He couldn't go to work. He had to pack out of the house he bought because he could not pay the house. So long-term care and long-term disability kicked in, but he could only survive for a while, and he lost the job. My question: if he had been able to set this thing up, he would be able to replace his income up to 90%, depending on whether chronic, critical illness, and depending on the company you go with. Guys, these things can happen. Ask yourself, when you have that kidney transplant, when the doctor says you don't want to go to work, when you have that cancer, do you think your income can survive the treatment? What if it does, but what about paying your bills? One of my clients was so happy with me when he was going through a kidney transplant, and then he received a fat check from the insurance company. He had a $1 million policy, and he got a check from the company up to $900,000 to replace his income because he had some kind of chronic or critical or terminal illness. Guys, let's look at all these things. Now, this is with the IULs, and you can get this with other policies. Depending on your situation, we'll talk and know where you fall. All right, so if you look at it, it gives a flexible premium, and then that premium builds some savings within the policy, and that savings grows with interest compounding up to, some companies gives up to like 15%. Of the average rating for some companies has been ranging from 4% to like 7%, but it gives you an interest that works on market index. Now the index can go as low as, minimum I've seen is 0. It means that you don't make money, but you don't lose your principal, right? But it goes as far as even up to 25% for most high cap products, right? So it builds that interest on market index. So you don't lose money, your money is guaranteed. Now it gives you liquidity. You can withdraw the money, where some other policies you cannot withdraw, you can only borrow against, of which we advise people to borrow rather. But with this one, you could withdraw the policy, and then you can also get a loan, and the loan is given to you with favorable rates. And guess what? He may not even be required to pay back. But just like I explained to you about a car loan, right? You take a car loan, just imagine if you pay back that interest, it pays back into yourself. Because when you borrow against your index or universal life policy, you borrow against your death benefit, and you use your collateral, you use your cash value as collateral to that loan, right? So you may decide not to pay back. If you pass on, guess what? They just reconcile the balance, right? Hey, you pass on, so you owe us this, we owe you that, and then they reconcile that. That's what happens. Now the money grows in with a tax advantage. Guess what? After tax contributions, right? The money goes in with, the money you put in is after tax contributions. So the money accumulates tax-free. And guess what? You can get the money tax-free via our policy loans. There's no premature distribution penalties, and there's no minimum required distribution. Man, this is gold, guys. And the worst of it, the best of it all, is that this money is protected against creditors. So that is why I'm telling you about a hidden treasure. Many people know about these policies. A lot of people are using it. The wealthy and the affluent are using these policies. But we are happy to get in contact with these policies and to know how helpful they can help us in our pursuit for financial freedom and running our own independent bank. So Now, what does the Index Universal Life Policy help? Now, let's look at this this diagram. If you discover that these are some of the dream killers that actually happen in life: death, critical illness, chronic illness, disability, you live too long, right? And inflation, the market rates going up and down, taxes, liquidity, debt, and your cash flow. Now, these are some of the risks. We call it dream killers. But with this single product called the IUL, the product takes care of all these dream killers. If you die, your income is passed to your family. If you have a critical illness, your income is replaced. Chronic illness, your income is replaced. You live too long, you have a lot of cash to accumulate in your policy. The interest rate is of average right now at the level of 7.2 for the last 30 years. And that is far, far above the inflation rate. Let's look about inflation rate. Inflation rate is at the rate of, let me say, 3% annually. But you have a policy that gives you interest compounding at an average rate for 7%. We have the market risks. Market goes up and down, like I explained, but guess what? It is an index system. So when the market goes down, they lock your gains and you make no loss. Your principal does not reduce. And guess what? It's tax-free. You can get this money for retirement and pay no taxes. You can withdraw anytime you want. Now, the only thing that this product is not going to help you, it's not going to help you on disability insurance. It's not a disability insurance product. Take note. It's not going to help you for job loss. It's not going to replace your job. And it does not help you if you procrastinate. Okay? So, of all the products, why is it life insurance? Why life insurance? Of all the products, why life insurance? Now, why we say life insurance is the best product you want to use to build this wealth and become your own bank and create your own bank and become an infinite banker, pay interest to yourself and make constant compound interest, is because it has a consistent high rate of return. It is a tax-free growth. It has tax-free distribution, little or no fees, no penalties, easy access. Some have guaranteed values, some has index guaranteed values. You are completely in control of the product. And insurance have been of old. These are histories. They have long-term histories of existence, right? The insurance companies have lived for long, and they have passed through the Great Depressions, the various depressions, the First World War, the Second World War, and they are still existing because they have passed the test of times. It gives you tax-free income that is invisible to the IRS. They have nothing to say, not say about that. Isn't that good? Now, no required minimum distribution. Like, let me tell you something. Maybe you don't know, but life insurance is the safest place to store your cash in America today. Not a bank, not a safe. It's out of the reach of the government and the creditors. Now, if all this is true, you're asking me, who knows about this? Right? You're like, if all this is true, why doesn't everybody know about this? Why doesn't everybody know about this? Hey guys, look, of course, who knows about this? The government, all the presidents that have been through. And let's just take like McCain, who funded his treatment with his life insurance policies. Hillary Clinton and even Joe Biden, our current president, by then he was a vice president. He has used these policies to fund their campaigns. And even 54 more other current elected officials, they're actually using this product. Guys, this was hidden from us, but we have been able to dig our hands into it. Who else knows about this? Look, the corporations, right? The corporations use this. They all use this. Walmart, McDonald's, they all use this. Home Depot, they all use this product. So you want to ask yourself that why is it? And you see, most of these companies have gone through the test of times because they will fund their, like one of them, JCPenney was, if you look at the story of JCPenney, there was a time he almost went down and he was able to bring out money from his life insurance to fund his business. McDonald's, the same thing. He started with this. And Disney went for funding from all banks and they couldn't fund it. But guess what? He was able to pull money from his life insurance to run this business. All right. So let me show you something wonderful right here now. Now, this is the annual report of General Motors. and by law they are requested to put their information out there. This for 2017. They have to put their information out there for everybody to see. Their CEOs and how much they make and how much they earn. So these are their CEOs right here, and the former ones and the present ones and some of the top ranking officials, how much they earn. So my interest right here is on the next page. Let's go to the next page of this document. You discover that these are them right here. These are them right here. And then this is how much they have in their insurance life accounts, right? Life insurance premiums that they pay for their accounts. Look at what they put in there. Now, this is what they have on their retirement. Can't you see the contrast? Retirement plans are something like 401k, 403b, IRAs, and all the retirement plans. But look at something. Why are they putting too much money in their insurance and putting less in their retirement account? But we're like, why are they doing that? But they come and tell you, hey, max it all. Max up the account. Max up the account. And we all max it up. But the question is, why do they do it differently? Why are they doing it differently? Because they know this. They know this. Right? They know this. Man, this product is good. This product is good. I want you guys to take advantage of this. Use it for yourself. Use it for your kids. Now, let's look what Forbes is saying. Let not be that, oh, it's just Remy talking about it, right? But let's look what Forbes is saying about this. Investing in the market without taking loss is too good to be true. You see that? It's too good to be true. In August, University of Michigan helped Harbaugh become the top paid college footballer coach in the nation, according to the USA Today figures, by creating a deferred compensation package utilizing the cash value life insurance called what? Index Universal Life. Did you hear that? Now, if you go down again in here, it says the IUL allows cash value within the policy to grow tax-free over time. IULs are funded with post-tax dollars, which allow clients to withdraw money tax-free at any age. You see that? Now, one of the main advantages of IULs is that the cash value is protected from drops in the market. An IUL is a cash value policy that has both a death benefit and a savings portion. That's what I told you about, right? In an IUL, the investments are not placed directly into the market where they would be subject to a loss. Rather, they are put into a strategy that mirrors an index such as the S&P 500, which allows the participant to realize all or almost all of the gains in the market. These gains are then locked in to protect against potential losses. In addition, when compared to an IRA or 401k, IULs provide more flexibility. Come on! Are you kidding me? What are you saying? Are you kidding me? Yes. There are no restrictions on when the money can be taken out, unlike an IRA. Also, the money inside an IUL can be taken out at any age by the client tax-free and without extra fees. Did you get that? Now, this is what I'm talking about. Guys, this is a hidden treasure. I want you guys to make a good use of all this, right? Good use of all this. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, let's look at something. I told you about the banks, right? I told you about the banks that are using. The banks also know about it, right? The banks also know about it. You're like, oh, if this has been true, if it sounds good to be true, why don't we know about it? The banks know about it. Look at Bank of America, 19 billion into life insurance. Assets, take note, these are not liabilities. These are assets. It means it's providing money, right? Now, Wells Fargo, 17 billion. JP Morgan, Chase Bank, 10 billion. Guys, these are not millions. These are billions. US Bank, 5 billion. Now, this information is coming from the book called Money, Wealth, Life Insurance. Okay? You can go read this book and you'll find it in there. If I'm not mistaken, it should be page 17. Money, Wealth, Life Insurance. Banks are in the business of money. They have some of the greatest minds in the world, including economists, attorneys, accountants, financial analysts, and other advisors, helping them to increase the efficiency and the use of their capital. It is not insignificant that banks place billions of dollars in life insurance, right? It's a reflection of the value they place in these powerful assets. Take note, these are assets. For banks, it provides the ultimate in safety. Did you hear that? Now, this is the funniest thing. It provides ultimate in safety, yet we go to the banks and put our money in there. That's funny, right? That's the irony. More importantly, the FDIC allows these assets to be classified as what? Tier 1 capital, which is what? The safest capital a bank can have. Are you kidding me? Tier 1 is considered to be the core measure of banks' financial strength. Did you hear that? So banks design and derive their financial strength from insurance. That's what I'm talking about. Now, what if you take off the banks and go use this insurance directly for yourself? What does that mean? You have a tier 1 capital, you have a financial strength, you have a secured capital, and your future is secure. Guys, when are those days when we talk about death insurance? I know people talk about buy term and invest the difference. I'm not part of that. But my issue is this. If I give you a term policy, it's because that is the only thing you can have. But let me tell you the truth. If I see you have an opportunity to get something bigger, hey, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for something bigger, right? Why should I give you a term when you can have an IUL that will grow cash-free money and use it while you're alive? Now, and people used to think that insurance is when you die, you have the money. Oh no, gone are those days, my friend. Gone are those days. This is what the banks are using. The banks don't use the ones they give us. You go to your work. Oh, I have insurance at my job. What? Really? Do you have the contract? Can I see the contract? Of course, no, you don't have any contract. Guess what? The day you lost that job, you lose the insurance. The day you're fired, you lose it. If the company closes, you lose the insurance. Should you go to another company that doesn't offer the insurance, you also lose the insurance. You see what I'm talking about? Guys, let's open our eyes into financial realities. Let's build wealth and transfer to our kids. So, how does a bank work? Let me just explain a few things to you to tell you know how the bank works. The banks are financial institutions and they have the agenda. One, they want your money. That's a simple truth, right? And they always want it on a regular basis. And they only hold that money as long as possible. That is why they prefer to give you a loan so you don't take your money. When it comes to time to go get your money, they want to pay it back as slowly as possible. That is how the bank work. That is how the banks work, right? Now, let me give you a scenario here. This is what the banks actually do. You are the client, right? And you go to the bank, you put in your money. For every $1 you put in the bank can lend 10 times that amount. It's by law, right? It's by the federal law is law. They can lend 10 times that amount. And when you put in that money in the bank, they pay you 0 to 1% interest, just being generous, because most of the interest you get from the bank, from savings, is like 0.02%, or maybe CDs can give you 1.5, right? But let's assume this is savings, for example. They give you 0.0 to 1%, and guess what? For that 0 to 1%, if you make interest up to $10, the IRS is gonna say, hey, come on, give me tax from that money. You still have to pay tax. Now, this is what they do. The bank take your money and they give it back to you, right? On a credit card, and they say, hey, you have 16 to 24% interest annually. That's what you pay on a credit card. But guess what? Does the bank has money? No. All the monies in the bank belongs to us. The bank has no money. So they take our money, give it back to us. We own the money, and they use the money to make money off from us. That is our money. Guys, can't you see something right here? What if you keep that money and borrow against yourself and pay interest against yourself and still have your principal? That's what I'm talking about. Now, they will tell you that, oh, but the banks are secured. I will guarantee my money up to $250K. Now, this guarantee is done by FDIC. So the FDIC guarantees, now this is per institution and not per account. So if you have $1 million in a bank, they can only guarantee you $250K if the bank closes down. And if you have 10 accounts in that bank with 1 million each, you can only get $250 because it is per bank and not per account. Take note of that, right? But now, this is the irony. Who guarantees the bank? FDIC. Do you know the meaning of FDIC? Federal Deposit Insurance Company. Really? Yes. The insurance company is guaranteeing the bank, and that is why banks deposit a lot of money into the insurance business to make profit from it, because it's considered a tier 1 capital and it is source of the bank's strength. So you're like, oh, who supports those insurance companies that you guys go and put money? Who backs the insurance company? Are you kidding me? Who backs the bank? Who backs the bank, my brother? Who backs the bank, my friend? The bank is backed by the same insurance company we are asking you to deposit your money into. Now, when the banks takes this money, what do? They deposit the money to the insurance company. Now, this is a difference with the insurance company. For every $10 the insurance company has, they can only lend one. That gives them their stability. Now, when the bank deposits money in here, they call it bank-owned life insurance. You see that? If it's a corporation, it's called corporate-owned life insurance. Now, when the bank deposits this money, they make 6 to 12% interest. And guess what? It's tax-free, tax-free. And they take this money, give to you back with this interest. Guys, that is how the bank works. Okay, let me put it in a better picture so that you see it better. Now, look at this picture. You deposit your money in the bank right there. They give you 4% interest, for example. And let me just be a little bit generous here. 4% interest. And the bank takes that money. They give it to somebody who want to get a mortgage for 7%, and the person pays it to the bank. They take that money, give to somebody who want to get a car note, 8%, and the person pays the money back to the bank. And they take your money, they give it back to somebody who want to do a refurbish, house remodeling, right? 9%, and the person pays the interest to the bank. And they take your money and give it for somebody who's trying to consolidate debts, right? 12%, and the money goes back to the bank. Now, let me ask you a question. How much is the bank making off of you? What's the difference? Now, you have 4%. What's the difference here? 3%. What's the difference here? 4%. What's the difference here? 5%. And what's the difference here? That is 8%. So if you sum up, you observe that the bank is making extra 20% from your money. So you're like, let me ask you, how much over does the bank make from you? Guess what? The bank makes 500% above you. You kidding me? You make only 4% and they make what? 20. That is 5 more. 5 more from what you make. So they make 5 times 100. 5 times, that's 500% gain on your money above from what they pay you. Guys, now what if we take off the bank? And this brings us to our infinite banking concept. What if you take off the bank? Pull your money straight to the insurance company right there. You see that green arrow? And you have your own life insurance owned by you. And guess what? You make 6% to 12%. You grow that money tax-free. And how does it work? You see that? Put in your life insurance product, the IUL, one of the policies you can use to guarantee the infinite banking. You borrow from me to build your house. You borrow from me to buy your car. You borrow from me to remodel your house. You borrow from me to consolidate your debt. And guess what? I just put 4% here. Let me tell you, with the IULs, you can go up to 15%. So all this 500% excess stays with you. That's what I'm talking about. So this brings us to the other secret number 6. How does the family bank work? So we'll be talking about family bank, infinite banking. They're all one and the same thing. Infinite banking is a process that you actually borrow from yourself and pay to yourself and grow your money and become your own personal bank. Family bank we're talking about is the same kind of concept, but we are putting it back a little bit into the family milieu where you can pass this bank to your kids, right? So they're one and the same thing. How does the family bank or the infinite banking concept work? I've explained the concept, but how does it work now as a family? Let me put it this way. Let's go back to somebody who want to buy a car, right? If you want to buy a car and you have a life insurance policy, maybe an IUL, and the face amount is $1 million. Now your cash value maybe in the policy is $50,000. And then the loan value is $40,000. Now I want you to understand, the money in your family bank that you can use for infinite banking is determined by your loan value. Okay? Loan value is how much you can withdraw at any point in time. That's what we call the loan value, right? So let's give an example in this case. And let me say you want to get something like a house or you want to get a car with your bank. Now, when you pay cash for big purchases, the compounding process is interrupted. Remember, I explained that to you when I was talking about the dollar compounding per day, right? However, when you pay the same purchase using your cash flow insurance policy, the compounding process is not interrupted. Why? Because when you take out a loan from your cash value insurance policy, you are not actually taking the money out from your policy. You are borrowing against your policy. What does that mean? You borrow from the debt benefit and your cash value is used as a collateral. The money doesn't go out. It keeps on building. So let's look at this example right here, right? So your loan value is $40,000. You purchase a car for $30,000, right? Traditionally, this is what most people will do. You either use a traditional method of financing. Maybe you say, okay, I'm going to pay $600 every month for 60 months. Or you're going to pay the car cash because the car is $30,000, right? The car is $30,000. If you want to pay the car, because we're assuming that your interest rate is like let me say it's like 4% or 6%. Yeah, 6%. So let's say you pay $600 for 60 months. You're going to pay what? $36,000. So you can do two options. You can traditionally finance that car, get a loan, pay for 6 months, or you pay it cash, or you use your family bank. Okay? Let's analyze each of them and see how it goes. Now, the first method, you use a traditional financing. How does it go? What are the pros? You can get the vehicle now, right? That's the pros. You can get the vehicle now, right? There's no big upfront investment, and you're going to pay a total of $36,000 at the end because you pay $600 every month. You're going to pay $36,000 at the end. Now, what are the cons right here? Okay, the cons: you don't own the car, right? You pay an additional 20% in compounded interest over 5 years. That explains the $6,000 extra that got added to it. And you need to put in an application, and you need to qualify, right? You must have a good credit, and you must prove income that you are able to pay. The schedule is fixed, guys. It doesn't change. And guess what? You're going to hit your credit if you miss a payment. Those are the pros and the cons of all that, right? Now let's look at the other method. Let's say you pay cash. You pay cash, yes, you own the vehicle, you had no outstanding loan. But there is a problem. The opportunity cost on the $30K that you're missing. What if you could have earned what you could have earned if it stayed in your account? Like if it was giving you compound interest, right? You could have earned something. Remember I told you about the calculator in the beginning, where you pay at 6% and you earn interest at 4%, but yet you make more money on your savings account than how much you pay on the loan, right? That's what I'm talking. Now, there's that delayed gratification because you have to save up to that to get that car. You have to delay some stuff. You have to forgo some things. You have to delay some enjoyments, right? These are the things that you're going to forgo. The vehicle will cost more 5 years down from now because remember, you have saved up to that amount for $30,000. Maybe by the time you sell the car, maybe the car is no longer $30,000 anymore, right? So these are the things that happen. Inflation, and again, you don't earn high rate of return while you accumulate in the savings account. These are some of the cons. You want to look into that. Now, let's look into you using your family bank to do this, right? What are the pros and the cons of using your family bank? The pros is that you own the vehicle. Your money still earns interest. It still makes market-like returns. You don't need to apply. You don't need to qualify. There is no repayment schedule. There is no debt-to-income ratio. No credit check. No penalties or credit hits. Right? Now, this is what I'm talking about. That is the advantage of you using our family bank concept to build your own form of lending. The cons is that there will be decreased availability for the next purchase or investment. That is just a cons. That is the disadvantage of that. Now, taking out a loan against your cash value insurance policy can make opportunity costs work in your favor. Can create, it can create positive cash flow that can increase your wealth. Like what I explained in the beginning. You see how the person paid for 60 months, but yet the savings account gave him more money than what he paid. That's what I'm talking about. It can increase your money, and it explains the concept of the depth of the wealth creator. So let's look at it. How does a family bank really work? You have a face amount, you have a cash value of $50,000, and your loan value is $40,000. Now you loan a car. So this is the loan for the company, from the insurance company that was given to you. This is your loan value. This is your policy value, this is your cash value, and this is your face amount. So let's look at the first method. Now, if you use our life insurance family bank strategy, you borrow, right, against your loan value, against your policy. Now, what if you pass away, right? What if you pass away? The insurance company pays the beneficiary $500,000 minus $30,000, which is equal to that. You see that? So at least they'll just be like, I owe you, you owe us, so this is what you get, okay? Owe you, you owe us, this is what you get. Now, what if the person leave? What if you leave, right? If you leave, what happens? Pay back your money into what? Your policy. Now, take note, this loan is 5 years. Now, you're paying for 5 years. What's happened to your cash value? It's also accumulating, compounding, because the compound process has not been interrupted. So it grows probably up to like 80,000. And guess what? You pump back this money into your cash value, and it grows back your interest. It grows back your cash value, and then your debt goes to zero. That is, if you live long, your money must have grown, and you are debt free. You have more purchasing power to get even better and higher things than what you got. Now, what if you leave? Look at that. So if you leave, see what's going to happen right here now. Just watch, okay? What if you leave? See what's going to happen right there. Look at that. See? The money disappears, and guess what? Oh, wow. You see that? That is awesome. Maybe, okay, you didn't see it again. Let me go back. Now, what if you leave? This is how it works. Because I tried to explain it here. Maybe you didn't understand it, how it grows to 80,000. But this is how it works. Let me explain it again. Look at that, how it works. You see, it disappears and your cash value grows. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, wow. That's that's nice. I like that. You see that? Look at that. You see, you pump it into your cash value, it disappears the loan, and your money grows back to $80,000. Wow. Guys, this is a real thing. Some examples of family banks we've said before. This guy invested his money into this family bank, and the first day after investment, he was able to have the first year after investment, rather, he was able to have $39,000 to take as a loan. That's the maximum loan value. Now, the way we design our index universal life is that we design it for family banking in a way that you start having money just the next year after the investment, where you can loan, right? We design it for maximum cash accumulation, where you can have money immediately, if not 1 year after you invest into your family bank. And we'll show you how to take a loan and how to use it to build your own investment, right? This is an example of what we design. And look at another one right here. One of my friends whom we designed a life insurance policy for. Look at this. He was able to borrow $40,000. Now, this is not borrow. This is a withdrawal, rather. He was able to withdraw $40,000 just 1 year after setting up the life insurance account, which is the family bank we set for him. Now, this is another guy in here. This is from Transamerica. He was able to do what? To get a policy loan. You see that? $100,000 from his insurance account to finance the purchase of his car, right? Now, this was 1 year after the insurance already created. Guys, now, you can start anyhow you want. You can start from any level you want. You don't need to go too high, you don't need to go too low. But I'm going to show you where you can start depending on how we meet and we talk about it. So, let's do a recap. Now, the first thing I've shown you is the secrets that you need to know in order to build wealth. The first secret was the power of positive arbitrage. And the second one, and the power of positive arbitrage, I told you how you can make money on a lower interest than you get on a purchase that you purchase on a higher interest. I showed you how you can make profit from it. The second secret is I showed you how the minds of the wealth creator look like, how they think, and how you can use this mindset to build your own wealth. Unlike the debtor and the saver, they have a different way of thinking. So if you apply this concept of the wealth creator, you will end up having a family bank for yourself. Now, the third secret was the 3 rules of money. I showed you the first rule was compound interest. You want to make sure your money grows on compound interest. The second rule was how money gets taxed. The second rule was how money grows. You want to make sure your money grows indexed so you don't make any loss should the market go down. And 3, you want to make sure that you have tax advantaged. Put your money in accounts that will grow and give you tax-free income. That is a big deal, guys. Tax-free income. Now, I showed you the hidden treasure on secret number 6, which is the Index Universal Life Insurance Policy. It's one of the highest policies you can use to set up your own account that grows with compound interest, that grows with index systems, that grows with tax advantage, and you can use it to accumulate cash. And then, guess what? You can use it to set up your own family bank that you can loan against yourself, pay interest to yourself, and be a bank and a source of finance for yourself and your family. And guess what? You can even use this to give out money out on loans to other people outside there. Yep, I told you that is how I got to know this thing, right? Okay, so then I also showed you how the banks really work, that they actually depend on the insurance companies to safeguard them and give them security. And I showed you how the family bank works, how you can put in money, take loans out of it, pay it back into your family bank, and retake the loans again and grow the money in interest on with compound interest uninterrupted, right? So I want you to take the next steps, right? If you think this information is very healthy for you, if you think this information is very, very healthy, and you like say, hey, Remy, I want to go to the next step. I want to see if this works for me. I want to see if you qualify for this. Please become our partner. Click on the button below to become our partner, right? Click on the button below. When you click on the button below, you're going to fill a certain form. And please, the form is a little bit just to qualify you, because this is the thing. We don't want to waste your time, and we also waste our time. We want to make sure that this is good for you, right? We want to make sure that you can qualify for this. You can set up your bank. for yourself, and to make sure that it's going to give you the profit you desire, right? We don't want to make sure you get into it and then we see that you're not a good fit. So please, when you fill that form, it will help us to qualify you to know if this is a good fit for you. And when you fill the form in 48 hours, if you qualify, you will get an email from our team to schedule an appointment so you can talk with us. And let's see how we can go from there. Again, guys, our ID clients. I wanted to know our ID clients. These are our ID clients. Now, this service is not for everyone, okay? It's not for everyone. It's only for people who are, number one, who are ready to change and own their lifestyle. Two, who want to make no excuses, because we want to make sure that if we get on a call with you, you are ready for what you want to do and how we can help you to achieve your retirement plans and retirement goals using our infinite banking concept. All right, people who are ready to take action, right? People who are ready to take action and people who are ready to make and get amazing results, okay? Ready to make and get amazing results. And this is for people who want to build legacy and transfer generational wealth. Take a look about this. I mean, this account is transferable to your beneficiaries tax-free. So whatever is inside with your cash value goes to your beneficiaries tax-free, right? So please, this is for people who are ready, and two, you should be able to do monthly premiums of at least $200 and above, or be able to pay 10 times your current age. Let me give you an example. I want to make sure that if you are 20, you should be able to pay $200 a month. If you are 30, you should be able to pay $300 a month. If you are 40, and so on and so forth. But at least, the minimum we say you should be able to do at least $200 a month. Because we design these policies for maximum cash flow. And I want to make sure that the amount of money you put into the policy should be able to meet up with the goals and the retirement plans and the financial plans you have as a family or as an individual. All right? So please, we try to make sure that we don't waste your time and you also don't waste our time, right? So just take a note of that. Now, these are the 20 ways that we can help you. Now, with this infinite banking, with these concepts, we will be able to give you, when we hop on a call with you, we're going to give you world-class financial education. We'll teach you how you can save money in the right places. Now, this is what you get from us when you become our client, right? We're going to teach you how you can save money in the right places, how you can achieve higher rates of returns on your money, give you guarantees on your money, and lock in your gains, right? Those are things we're going to give you. Now, I'll show you how to put more money in your current paycheck. I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're going to help you protect your family and your family assets. Set up guaranteed lifetime income stream. We call it the personal pension plan, which we're going to design for you. So, guys, this is a whole deal, right? We give you these guys when you join us. We look at your schedule. We look at the situation you have, and then you will see if this works for you. Again, guys, if this works for you, please make sure you click on the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified, right, when we post new videos on our YouTube. Like our YouTube channels and more on and so forth. So now, replace your income with your living benefits and long-term care, right? We're going to show you how to replace your income. We're going to set up estate planning, living trust, and will to avoid probate. We're going to show you all that. Get you out of debt and keep you out of debt. Set up the same plan that the wealthy use to send their kids to college. Because remember, you can use this to fund your kids' college, right? Yep, you can do that. Teach you how to become your own bank. Take advantage of a free sign-on bonus on our retirement money accounts. There are a lot of things you're going to learn when you become our client. So we're going to teach you a lot of stuff, help you to set up a tax-free retirement strategy, upgrade your life insurance plan for free. If you already have life insurance and you're like, hey, what I have is different from what you're saying. I would really like to know this. Right? I would really like to know this. What I have is different from what you're saying. Please, if you become our clients, we're going to show you how to upgrade your plan. Determine your financial independence number, because we need to know how much you owe, what is your goal in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, so we can determine how much you actually need to invest to become financially free and financially independent. We'll help you save money on taxes for individuals and for business owners as well. We're going to show you how to make an extra 6-figure part-time. Remember I said, if you want to do what we're doing right now, you can become a business partner as well. If that is what is in your mind, please, during the call, please don't forget to mention that, and we'll book another call with you with a business partner who's going to talk to you to see if you actually qualify to do the business part of this, right? So we'll show you how you can make 6-figure part-time income or 7-figure part-time income if you join us to become our client. With a lot of things we're going to show you. Help transfer wealth to your next generation and leave a significant legacy to your family. We talked about legacy planning. We're going to show you all that. Take advantage of our free retirement plan. All right. So here's what you get, right? Here's what you get when you become client. We have a custom guide to wealth creation, which we're going to show you. We're going to give you lifetime coaching with our team. And guess what? This is worth a lot of money, which is worth $2,000. A custom guide to wealth creation is worth $3,500. We have our annual policy review and analysis, which is $500 per year. And our membership with our Family Bankers Society, which is $1,500, right? This is what you get. Remember I told you guys we have some bonuses for you, right? Okay, so what are those bonuses that we offer today? Now, here's what you get when you become our client, right? You get all of this. Now, normally all this is going to cost a lot of money, right? It's going to cost, if I sum that total, that's going to be like 3,500, and that is 7,000, and then 8,000. This costs like 8,000 if you have to become our client, right? Per year that you're supposed to be paying every year if you are actually supposed to become our client. But now, because we do business for our clients and we don't represent any companies, we instead represent our clients to our companies. So this is what we do. We're going to cancel all this and we're going to give it for free. Now, for the first people who are going to book their appointment, we're going to fill that form. Now, for those who are going to fill that form, right now, I'm going to give the next 15 minutes to get the people who are going to fill the form. If you fill that form in this webinar right now, in the next 15 minutes, you are going to start getting this information all free. You're going to get all these bonuses offered for you today for free. So you have to make sure you click on the link at the bottom to become our client. And when you click on that link, you fill the form so we should know if you qualify for this or not. And when we fill the form in 48 hours, our business partners, our team is going to get back to you. So guys, fill the form, do the best you can, give the most information you need that you can give. So we'll contact you to see if you actually qualify for what we actually offer. So click on the button below to become our client. Click on the button below, you fill the form, and then you become our client. Then in 48 hours, we'll contact you to see if you actually qualify. So let me look. I think I have some questions at the bottom right there. Okay. Somebody's asking if we have to pay annually for this. Remember I said there's some annually stuff, but again, this is free. If you sign up right now, you get it for free, right? Somebody said, do you do whole life? Why do you prefer index universal life? Because whole life also. Again, as I said, when you fill the form, we know what works best for you, right? When you fill the form, we're going to discover that, hey, whole life is going to work best for you, or maybe it's index universal life that's going to work best for you, okay? If you have your questions, you can ask at the bottom. I see too many questions coming. Okay, I see 4 people have already signed up. 4 people have already booked appointments. Yes, that's great. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I see Susan saying that is great information. Thank you, Susan. I see Max saying that, wow, you did great. You did great. Yeah. And again, guys, please let us know how we did, okay? Make sure you send us an email to see how we did. If this was so interesting, if there's something we need to fix, let us know. We'll be so much grateful about that. All right. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. And we are glad and we hope we added value to you and we added value to your life and information you already heard from us. And I love talking about this much, me and my wife, because it has really changed my life. And we have used it to change the life of hundreds of people. And most of them send us emails congratulating us for letting them know this information. Now, for those of you guys who apply to be our client, please, if you qualify, a member of our team is going to get back to you within 48 hours. Once again, thank you so much and bye-bye.